with your friend. I was scared to approach ya, but then you came closer, hoping you would give me a chance. Who would have ever knew that we would ever be more than friends? But railroad white breaking all the rules. She like a song played again and again. That girl like something of a poster.
First up on today's show, we have Harrison Lawton to educate us on NFTs.
After that, Jacob Cohen has done some research for us on grading systems.
And to close out the show, Brian Fintonis updates us on gaming and what to expect from the next couple weeks.
All that and much more coming up next on Flyer News.
We said crazy things like I refuse to look back thinking days were better just because of younger days. I don't know what's round the corner where I feel right now. I swear we'll never change. Back when we were kids, swore we will never die.
Good morning, FHS. Today is Wednesday, November 10th, a day 3 with periods running B, A, E, F, G. I'm Logan Shapiro.
And I'm Chloe Mills. There have always been lots of opinions on the subject of how grading should be done.
Luckily, one of our correspondents have done some research and have zeroed in on the facts.
Without further ado, we have Jacob Cohen with a video about how grading systems are changing.
Coming back to school, you may have recently seen a change in how you're being graded. Some teachers are offering the ability to retake tests for full credit and being more lenient with late work, among other things. This is all under the idea of equity-based grading. First presented in the book Grading for Equity by Joe Feldman, this method is gaining popularity in school districts all around America post-pandemic. The principle of this system is that instead of measuring students based on arbitrary points on different assessments, students are instead evaluated based on how well they actually know the subject matter. The point of this grading system is not to penalize students for making mistakes or incentivize them from learning. Instead, it rewards them for results. The largest school district in California, accounting for over 660,000 students, Los Angeles and San Diego unified, recently directed its teachers to base academic grades on students' knowledge of the material and not to penalize students for behavior, work habits, or any missed deadlines. Teachers were also encouraged to allow students to retake and revise essays. Quote, "By continuing to use century-old grading practices, we inadvertently perpetuate achievement and opportunity gaps, rewarding our most privileged students and punishing those who are not." This was said in the district letter, quoting Joe Feldman himself, the creator of the Grading for Equity system. It is interesting to see how grading is changing now that we are back in school. It will be interesting to see if the system becomes commonplace in the future. For Flyer News, this has been Jacob Cohen. Let's send it back.
Last weekend, a local Maine fisherman caught a rare cotton lobster in Casco Bay. It is extremely rare to catch this kind of lobster. In fact, sources say the odds of catching a cotton candy lobster are 1 in 100 million. Those are lottery odds right there. Lobsterman Bill Coppersmith was the lucky man, and unsurprisingly, he stated that it was his first cotton candy lobster fish he has ever caught. Aquariums and other organizations are looking to adopt this cotton candy lobster, as it is such a rare sighting.
With Veterans Day being tomorrow, a lot of people are wondering what they can do to honor and support our local veterans. There is a ceremony taking place at Veterans Park with parking available at 600 Concord Street. This updated park will be a place to honor and reflect on the men and women who served our nation with honor. This collaborative community effort is possible with the help of veterans, community members, and city representatives who combined $150,000 to complete this revitalization project on time for Veterans Day. You can also be on the lookout for Veterans Day parades and celebrations being held in neighboring towns.
With Thanksgiving, we all know what the aftermath is: Black Friday.
And as I don't do very much shopping on Black Friday, I know a lot of people are really looking for deals.
That is also great to hear. Brian Fintonis has talked a lot about gaming, which is really common on Black Friday. So without further ado, let's hand it right over to him.
Good morning, Flyers, and welcome back to this week's Flyer Gaming. As always, I'm your host, Brian Fintonis, and let's get right in. Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and you know what that means. That's right, Black Friday and Cyber Monday. If you're a video game fan, just like me, get excited as Amazon has announced that for Black Friday, all video games will be buy 3 for the price of 2. That means if you've been excited about the new Guardians of the Galaxy, the video game, or the new Call of Duty Vanguard, this Black Friday is going to be the time to make your purchase. Some exclusions may apply. On the topic of new video games, I find that recently we've fallen into some sort of silver age for video games. New video games coming out constantly, almost weekly at this point, and remakes and remasters constantly filling our shelves. Rumor has it, PlayStation will be making a huge announcement on a big remake that is in development this upcoming December. For those of you who don't know, a remake is when a game from the past is dug up and rebuilt completely from the ground up, whereas a remaster is simply a polished up version of an old video game. Graphics are increased, slight minor bug fixes, etc. Major difference between these two is that a remaster uses old assets and models that are already in place. Knowing this, hopes are high as Sony has constantly pulled through and is no stranger to the great remakes that they have made. It is still theorized what the game may be, but no doubt it will be amazing, and whatever it is, I'm excited. Now, the study of how video games affect youth and other members of society in a negative manner has always been quite an area of controversy. As more and more violent video games saturate the market, it's important that we find out how these video games really harm us. A study by Dr. Agnès Suziadelight sought to answer just that. After researching children from ages 8 to 18, Dr. Agnès found that, quote, these results suggest that violent video games may agitate children, but this agitation does not translate into violence against other people, which is the type of violence which we care most about. She searched for a plausible link between violence and violent video games, but simply came up short. I guess the age-old adage is true. There is no correlation without causation. That's all for this week's Flyer Gaming. Thanks for tuning in.
That's all for today's episode of Flyer News. You can rewatch this broadcast again at 5 and 7 o'clock on channels 8 Comcast, 15 RCN, or 41 Verizon Fios.
Or you can watch this and other broadcasts under the FEC TV tab on the school's website or on our YouTube channel.
Be sure to stay tuned for the newest edition of The Early Bird, starring Framingham's finest, Griffin Yarmaloff. That's all from us. I'm Logan Shapiro.
And I'm Chloe Mills. Have a wonderful Wednesday, FHS.
Dear Theodosia, what to say to you? You have my eyes, you have your mother's name. When you came into the world, you cried, and it broke my heart. I'm dedicating every day to you. Domestic life was never quite my style. When you smile,